Yes, people, we are back for a game week 4 free hit. I don't know why you're here. You're here because you're struggling. You're here because you need points. Well, I'm going to give you everything you need to make sure game week 4 is a success. Make sure you like, subscribe, and let's get straight into the team. So let's have a look at my game week 4 free hit team. It's not only a game week 4 free hit team, it's a team that if you're watching this video, it's going to get you up your either mini league or your Super League. Let's call it that, guys. So make sure you are liking and subscribing because we're going straight into it. Nick Pope, as you can see down below. Newcastle are desperate for a win, but they are desperate for a clean sheet. And I don't think there's a better team they could probably play at home other than Wolves. There's not many out there. So I am going to go with Nick Pope because I think Newcastle coming off the back of the sale of Alexander Isak, bringing in Visser, bringing in Waltmarder, coming off the international break. I do feel like they're going to be recharged. They're going to be energized. And I think it's going to be the perfect time for Newcastle to come back, give their fans 3 points and get a clean sheet. Yes, we all know everything can happen in football. You know, Wolves could get a penalty. Wolves could get a cheap consolation goal. We saw it happen in game week 1 when Brentford scored against Forest. I thought I'd bank for clean sheets. Never happened. But I do believe that Nick Pope will keep a clean sheet. And there's a reason why I've gone with Nick Pope in goal and not a Newcastle defender out on pitch. Because let's break it down. Daniel Munoz. I'll be silly not to have him. Daniel Munoz is one of the most attacking, creative right backs in the league. And if you look at it, they're playing Sunderland at home. Now, I look at Sunderland as a team that I expect to get more points at home and struggle away from home. And when you look at Palace, unbeaten in 14, defending resolutely, you know, getting a clean sheet away at Aston Villa. Who does that? So I look at Daniel Munoz and I'm thinking clean sheet returns, but also attacking returns. The guy is a flying wing back. He's got assists. He can get goals. He's just one of them players that on a free hit, it's a low risk, potentially high reward. So Daniel Munoz has to go in there against a promoted team in Sunderland. I've got Cucurella. Big up Baines, who I do FPL high with, as you know. He's been screaming about Cucurella for a while. And if you didn't know, well, you will now. He's 6.1. He was 6 million. So Baines has done well in picking him. And for my free hit, I am going to pick him because he's another player that gets in advanced positions. He's playing against a Brentford team that are a bit up and down at the moment, unpredictable. And it's a West London derby. But again, it's the valuable contributions of he gets forward. So if you get a clean sheet, you're more likely to get bonus and some returns of him as well because he does advance forward for the Chelsea team. And then I'm going to start with Timber. As you can see here, people, I did have Trippier in as like a backup because I think if I was going to double up, I'd rather go with a Newcastle team that have a stable back, you know, a stable back line. Timber, 5.6 million. It was him or Calafiori, but after the 24-point haul, I'm just going to be a bit scarred if I'm totally honest. So I need to make sure that I've got an Arsenal player in there. They are the early kickoff, so I am a bit skeptical about that. That's the way, you know, FPL works. It gets in your head like that. But I think Arsenal, best defense in the league. We're unlucky to concede against Liverpool. That would have been a clean sheet. So I think that is the way I have to go. Munoz, Cucurella, Timber, and Nick Pope. And now we come to the midfield. There was a few selection dilemmas, but wholeheartedly, I feel like this is the right choice I need to go with. And if I looked at it and I said, right, on that Saturday night or Sunday night, why didn't I put him in? It would be these players. So we're going to start from the right-hand side. We're going to go with Antoine Semenyo. Now, if you guys didn't know, I went to the Bournemouth Spurs game just before the international break. And this guy was sensational. You know, the chance creation, he should have scored 1 or 2 himself. His ball carrying ability. He is the foundation of that Bournemouth team. If Bournemouth are ever going to create, if Bournemouth are ever going to get into the final third, it's due to Antoine Semenyo's ball carrying and dribbling ability. And I just think he's a player that most people should have. But because he's at Bournemouth, he doesn't get the respect he deserves. But I'll tell you now, he is top 3 left wingers in the Premier League. He starts for nearly every single Premier League football club. Over Doku, over Gakpo, over Brennan Johnson, Pedro Neto, whatever teams you want to look at in the Premier League, he is top 3 left wingers in the Premier League. Oh, Martinelli. So there you go, people. I've just named you nearly all the top 6, and he starts. So there we go. Antoine Semenyo is my pick. Brighton at home. I expect goals in the South Coast derby, and that is my pick there. Jack Grealish. He might be the player that everyone's starting to jump on now because he's gone to Everton Football Club and he's playing with a smile on his face. He's happy. David Moyes giving him the license to roam, giving him the license to create. And Jack Grealish has become himself again. And we all know a dangerous Jack Grealish can cause trouble for anyone. He's got good ball carrying ability. He's very good 1v1. He's got good IQ. He can create. He can score. And we saw 2 assists already on the weekend against Wolves. Assists again twice the week before that in Everton's first home game. This guy has got more assists than he ever did in the last 2 seasons for Man City. So it says a lot. And I think a home game against an Aston Villa team that we already know is very low on confidence, just conceded 3 to Crystal Palace at home. There are going to be moments, there are going to be opportunities for Everton to score in that game. And I think if they do get them opportunities, it's either Jack Grealish or Ilman Ndiaye that you have to put in. And I'm still tossing and turning. I don't know which one to put in, but one Everton attacker, I believe, has to go in there. And Beto Tiano Barry, with the rotation in minutes, Dewsbury Hall, yes, he had a good game, but I feel like Ndiaye and Grealish are locked in. You have to pick one of them. So make sure you do that. And then we go over to Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool, Alexander Isak arriving, the big money buy is why I am going to go with the midfielders. It's got to be Gakpo and Salah. Gakpo is a lock-in at the moment on the left-hand side. We know that Rio can come off the bench, but Gakpo, high shot volume, likes to cut in, and he's getting in dangerous positions. I just think Gakpo at the moment, for the returns and the price and a Burnley team away from home, I do see this being a game where Liverpool can score 3 or 4. So Gakpo is going to go in because it's the type of game that Gakpo would score maybe 2 in. But then in a big game, he wouldn't do anything. So Gakpo has to go in. And then you can see I've got Mohamed Salah in there. Mohamed Salah has been very quiet this season, yet he's produced 2 out of 3 games, got an attacking return, a goal and an assist. Mo Salah is due to explode. And when he explodes, I want to be there. You know, it's like a paintball. When that splatters, it's going to hurt. And if I don't have him in my free hit and it splatters, it's going to hurt me. So on a free hit, Mohamed Salah has to be there in my team. I'm going to double up with Gakpo and Salah and hope that Liverpool can score goals. And now we go over to the attack. And I think the attack kind of picks itself because Alexander Isak is not going to start for Liverpool. However, he could come off the bench. He's going to get minutes for Sweden in the international break. Hugo Ekitike, we see that he comes off in the 70th to 80th minute. And if you've got Alexander Isak there sniffing, ready to make his debut, that is now a minutes risk. So for me, it is simple. João Pedro stays in the team. He is the man for Chelsea that's on fire right now. Cole Palmer potentially could be back. But whether it's João Pedro in the 9 or the 10, he seems to be the main focal point for that Chelsea attack. We saw the display against West Ham where he was very crucial in that win. We then saw him pick up the header in the West London derby against Fulham. For me, João Pedro is someone that you just have to stick with until the wheels fall off because he's always going to be involved in the game. He's creative, he can take shots, he can finish well, and he seems to be in the right place at the right time for this Chelsea team. And a João Pedro that's confident, you can't take him out, especially at the price point of around 7.5 million, which he may have gone up now. But people, João Pedro is a lock-in. It's a West London derby against Brentford, who have got Keith Andrews, and there's going to be chances in that game. And I think when them chances come into them games, it's going to be João Pedro they fall to, because you've got to remember, people, Liam Delap injured, Nicholas Jackson out of the club. He's guaranteed minutes. And not just minutes. He's probably guaranteed 90 now, because when they bring on changes, he can play in the 10 or play out wide. So João Pedro starts for me in my free hit. And then I'm going to take a risk. And I say it's a risk because 1, it's a 12:30 kickoff. 2, he's still adjusting to the Premier League. But 3, he's playing a Nottingham Forest team that me, myself, and I for DEFCON points, clean sheets, Murillo, Williams. In my 15 years, 16 years playing FPL, this might be one of the worst decisions I've made. So now I need payback. Victor Gyökeres, please score some goals. I'm going to go with Gyökeres up top for Arsenal. Obviously, Saka may be back, may not be back, but Eze at home, Odegaard back, Saka potentially. Arsenal will want to bounce back from the defeat against Liverpool. They're still in that title race. 100% they'll be there. And I think an early kickoff against Nottingham Forest, who are low on confidence, conceding chances, conceding goals, Gyökeres can hopefully get 1 or 2 goals and get the 12:30 kickoff at my FPL Game Week 4 off to a flyer. So Victor Gyökeres, if I needed you to score any goals, it's on the free hit Game Week 4. Yes, please. And then I'm going to sign the deal sheet off. Jean-Philippe Mateta. It would be silly Just like I said with Daniel Munoz. If I don't have him and you don't have him, then what are we playing FPL for? What are we doing here? Get in the comments and tell me why I'll be stupid if I don't pick him. I've got to pick Mateta. Newly promoted team in Sunderland. At home. Unbeaten in 14. Jean-Philippe Mateta. He's on penalties. He's guaranteed 90 minutes. Palace are going to want to prove a point that, potentially, losing out on Eze, no problem. So Jeremy Pino could also make his debut. He's someone to watch for future FPL players, people, by the way. But I'm going to go with Jean-Philippe Mateta on pens, the main focal point for Crystal Palace. Will score goals, will get chances, and I don't think there'll be many easier games for him to add to his goal tally sheet for Crystal Palace than playing Sunderland at home. So that is my triple threat in attack. I'm going to go with João Pedro, Jean-Philippe Mateta, and Victor Gyökeres, also known as Gyökeres to some people. And what I'm going to now talk you through is, if you're unsure on your team, I'm going to give you one defender, one midfielder, and one attacker that you could potentially add to your free hit that I did not have. So the three players I'm considering, first of all, is number one, Gabriel. Gabriel at Arsenal, we know, big set piece threat. Big in the tackling contributions as well. I don't know how he's doing with the DEFCON points at the moment. I haven't checked. However, we know with Gabriel that he is probably guaranteed a clean sheet. He's a big threat from set pieces. And when you look at Arsenal playing Forest, I've got Timber in there. Timber had a one-off attacking return. I don't know if that's guaranteed. Whereas with Gabriel, I always feel he's a threat from the corners and the set pieces. So if you have the funds, Gabriel would be one I'm definitely considering for Arsenal. Into midfield. Now, he's an injury concern. He's up and down. We don't know. I've got Jean-Philippe Mateta, but another one I'll definitely be looking at is Ismail Assar. Because Ismail Assar, when he's on it, he drives a fast car. I'll tell you that. Ismail Assar is someone you've got to be looking at. Because, guys, at his price point and the potential attacking returns, he is a must if Oliver Glasner confirms that he is back. He's always there, linking up with Jean-Philippe Mateta. He got a goal against Aston Villa when he had a relatively quiet game. And he just knows where to be. He's a right place, right time type of player. He's consistent. He's Premier League proven. Match that with pace and power. And I think Ismail Assar and Mateta could be a potential double up. If it wasn't him and it wasn't Mateta Assar, then you could potentially look at Iliman Ndiaye. So if you want to go with a double up of Everton with Grealish and Ndiaye, I personally wouldn't, but you might fancy their chances against a low confidence Villa, then Ndiaye could be the other one I'd look at. And then in attack, if I had to take out someone, I don't know who it would be, but if I had to consider another option, it's another double up. It would be Evan Nilsson from Bournemouth. I think he's a very underrated FPL player. I don't think that he has as much ownership as he potentially should. But that's because I don't think he always returns consistently. He seems to have spells where he might score in 3 and 4 and then blank for 3 or 4. But with the Brighton game at home, I do think Evan Nilsson may get chances. He will be on penalties as well. And like I said already, I went to the game against Spurs and he scored that opening goal and the winning goal. And he should have maybe had 1 or 2 more. And I feel like maybe now he's just starting to get a bit more confident. If you have Semenyo in, Semenyo is going to be potentially giving him chances. If not, Evan Nilsson is potentially giving him chances. So if you don't have Semenyo, I think Evan Nilsson could be a great shout. And then you could potentially upgrade Semenyo to another midfielder of your choice. So there would be my 3 takeaways. Gabriel, Ismail Assar Ndiaye, and Evan Nilsson up top. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. That is my free hit selection for Game Week 4. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the FPL Hive.